think Andor is maybe the best piece of Star Wars universe in like a decade at least.
Andor is my favorite improv comedy technique. We made the little angry face when we
I was angry too.
No one can see what the heck we're talking about. There's an instrument panel that makes a little face when we make the sound loud. Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steve, and this is 60 Cycle Hum, and I don't know what to do with my hands here on the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, playing, reviewing, playing
something podcast that we've been doing for over a decade, and Steve still can't remember the intro.
This first ad. I mean, a really professional podcast, Ryan, would would have a teleprompter, or
you want a teleprompter for a podcast?
No, I'm saying a professional podcast. I'm not saying I want this. Or we would pre-record that bit and it would just play. Our intros would all be pre-recorded. And so instead of every week, instead of 500 and whatever takes of this thing I have now, right, I would sit down in one recording session.
You want to hear your voice from 11 years ago.
Or we'd update every once in a while, but I'm saying in that one recording session, I probably would record it like 100 times just to get one.
No, you wouldn't.
Perfect.
You get to 4 or 5 and be like, that's good enough.
200 takes.
So anyways,
this first ad was sent by JJ Palayo.
Steve, some people might not be familiar with what we do here on the show. So let me know. I'm going to let you know real quick. Do you spend all day scrounging the internet for weird guitar listings because you just can't stop window shopping for used guitars? Well, you might be entitled to compensation. That's what we do here. We compensate you for scrounging the internet for the weird and wild of the used market. Crazy Craigslist, ridiculous Reverb, egregious eBay, all those sorts of things.
That's a really good I was like, why is he going with this entitled to compensation?
We're gonna cover 3 ads, 3 listings in this video. We're gonna pick our favorite one, and we're gonna give the person that sent it a $25 virtual gift certificate printed on heavy digital cardstock. Do you want that in your life? Heavy digital cardstock printed gift certificates? Well, then send us a listing that you saw on Craigslist or Reverb or wherever. Yeah, we'll do it on the show.
This is an Epiphone special model electric guitar. This was posted 5 years ago on Oxnerd. This is a thing I dislike about OfferUp is listings never expire.
Right, they're forever.
And they're just there. And
it's crazy that no one's bought this, or maybe they just never took it down.
That's what I mean. I think things get sold and never get taken down.
They sold one thing on OfferUp, and that was the only thing I needed to sell. Yep. And they just threw away the app and never came back. Never took down the listing.
This is an Epiphone special model electric guitar. It's missing
special, right,
the first string. But other than that, it's like new. Comes with the black case, cord, a tuner, and the amp.
Look at that body, Steve. Tell me what you're feeling. Let the hate flow through you. Steve is trying to understand it. Are you close?
Wait a sec. What is happening here?
I know. What is happening here? So we've got an S-Geeze guitar neck on an S-Geeze bass body.
On an EBO, yeah.
That's got the S-Geeze, that great big fat mud bucker neck pickup.
Yeah.
And then it has a 6-string guitar bridge on it. And the strings are all splayed out after the bridge going to bridge posts. Like the strings are tied around the ends of the bridge posts. There's no stop bar, but something that's really, really extra wild. You're trying to imagine this. If you're listening to the audio, look at the imager pictures. Please, please, please. You have to. There's a third stop tail post that has been installed in the middle. I almost wonder, was this part of a tripod?
So it's not a third post. That's the way the EBO is. like it's a 3-post
But still,
bridge.
that doesn't make any sense. It's in the wrong place.
So they added the tunematic.
Oh no! Here's what they did. No! This still doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense because those are in the wrong place. Those are in the wrong place unless the perspective's completely off.
I think it's a perspective.
I hope so. Okay, it's probably what happened. Okay, so that there's 3 posts from the missing bridge because there used to be a base bridge right there. Okay, the perspective change is making it look real funny to me because this looks like it's way further up.
I think adding the no, because look this look over here, Ryan.
Everyone can see it on the screen,
but like you see this is the forward mount, and it's parallel with this knob. Forward mount.
Yeah. You're right.
What's throwing off the perspective is the added tom.
The added bridge is screwing it up. The whole thing is screwed up. This guy just really Frankenstein together a monster here.
I thought they just slapped parts on, but that's
technically
actually
this
mounted.
is Frankenstein's monster. Like this is his monster.
Yeah.
But I understand the thought of I don't need this bridge anymore because it no longer needs this bass bridge because it has a guitar bridge that I've installed, which looks like it's hard to tell from the pictures, but it looks like he did a clean job of it. And like, you know what? I don't need the bridge anymore, even though it's functional as a stop tail.
Sure.
I'm just gonna do like a hangman's noose, like cinch loop of the string around the post. So you've got the low E and the A going around one of those posts. Then you have the D and the G going around the middle post. And then you have the B and the high E going around the third post.
But you only have the B for some reason. And you couldn't be bothered to put the E on.
How they did that is that they looped the string through the ball end.
Yeah.
And just let it cinch on there.
You could not
like
do
a zip
this.
tie.
You could not do this with Fender bullet strings.
No.
But I mean, Fender bullets are only designed to be used in Stratocaster bridges. So it's fine.
You wouldn't use it here anyways.
Yeah.
This isn't a Stratocaster.
You wouldn't download a Stratocaster.
Yes, I would. And then I'd upload a different one.
So this is $200. This is.
It was $200. Is it still listed? If this is still listed, what was it? 5 years later, there's something wrong in the world. Because even for $200, someone should get this.
This person, you think so?
Yeah.
No,
it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Someone should get it. Are you kidding? When else are you going to get to try a 6-string guitar with a mud bucker in the neck?
It's a 5-string guitar, Ryan. It's missing a string.
You can replace that. You can fix it.
Now, does that mean, because it makes me think they had SG parts, though as an SG.
They had 2 SG parts, the SG guitar and the SG bass.
Does the SG Special have a wraparound?
Oh my gosh, Steve, if this exists.
It does exist somewhere.
It means that somewhere out there is an SG body with an SG bass neck on it.
Oh my gosh.
And it's got that bridge on it.
It's been converted to President's.
Right. It's a President's get back bass now.
Yeah.
Oh my, he mixed them all up and then he released them into the wild.
The tuners are swapped out on this too, or they've had the covers pulled off. It may have just be the covers pulled off.
I'm gonna look at what you're looking at here. Maybe they replaced them, or maybe the covers. It's hard to tell.
But Ryan,
like, what era is this?
This comes with a crate MX10.
I know.
Aren't you this has an overdrive channel, so it must be the guitar. So I think that's the MX10. The 1 amp that somehow managed to be jankier than the Crate GX series.
That series with the weird blue graphic on the faceplate and those ugly knobs. That's the ugliest crate.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
It's funny when you own a crate. Like I had a Crate GFX 15.
Uh-huh.
Right. And then the MX series came out and I was like, man, that amp looks cheap. It's like, bro, you have like $100 crate, but it's got digital reverb, baby.
I had the crate with the real spring. I loved kicking that thing around.
I had all the digital flange, digital chorus.
Uh-huh. Like, you know how most because I had
Digital delay.
the one with the real spring, which sounds like a big brag. You know how most amps with the spring reverb, you've got the pan that sits on the bottom of the cabinet,
right
underneath the speaker. I cracked open the crate one time. It didn't even have the pan down there. It was an internal spring inside of the little, like
in the chassis.
and the spring was like this long.
That's the spring that's in the Dano Spring King Jr. probably.
No, that one has a bigger spring than that. It just doesn't actually run the reverb through it.
You know what has a really short has a really short spring reverb, though I think it has 2 springs.
What
is the Fendler?
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a tiny little spring reverb.
Someday we're gonna get that thing working. It's gonna cost $1,000. We're gonna find someone who will get it working.
I think about, like, could I just try to trace every single
people
wire?
Don't know what we're talking about. If you know what we're talking about, say I know the legend of the Fendler down in the comment section.
Yeah. Ryan, you would pay $200 for this?
I think someone would.
Yeah, someone who's a terrible
I don't think this
person.
I don't think this would go unsold for 5 years. I think someone out there is sick enough and twisted enough.
You think somebody bought this and they just forgot to take it down?
They're just curious. Yeah, I think they just didn't take down the listing.
For 5 years.
No, I think they just haven't taken it down. This person, okay, they joined March 2020. Yeah. They only have 3 stars, Steve. They only have 3 reviews.
So they probably abandoned OfferUp just like I have.
Right. Like they sold 3 things, or they bought 2 things and sold 1 thing, and then they were just done. And they did good enough to get full 5 stars. So they're not leaving people hanging. No one's out there like, oh, I really want this guitar, but he won't get back to me. He did his thing. Then he deleted the app, and he never went back. Ryan, so this listing is just going to live on OfferUp forever.
Guess how many reviews I have on OfferUp?
1?
No.
What do you have?
I have 4.
How many do you think I have?
Oh man, I don't know. Probably like 30.
Oh, shoot, 42.
Nice. I don't even know how long ago I joined.
I have followers. Do you have followers?
I have 176 followers.
What? You beat me. I have 165.
Yeah, I don't.
Why are people following you more than me?
Because I think I connected to Facebook.
Oh.
So I just have people, and I followed some of them back. I'm going to follow Robert McDowell.
There you go.
And Wade Burden.
Oh, nice. Hi, Wade.
200, man. I don't know. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
It's so stupid that someone out there is going to want it for $200.
You know where this could have ended up?
Like, realistically, what's wrong with this?
It's missing at least 1 key part.
You can do something different to improvise a better stop tail situation.
The question that I have,
you could put a trapeze on this and it would look so classy.
The question that I have, and it probably doesn't work, because if it did, they probably would have done it. Is the spacing for that bass bridge? Are the posts spaced?
No, those look wider than a stop bar to me. Wider? I was wrong eyeballing it earlier, thinking I knew where the bridge was placed, where where the screws were placed. But to me, it looks too wide. I could be wrong. I'm looking for a stop tail in the room. I don't have one. Oh, there's the Explorer over there. It's possible, based on the angle on this, that would take a regular stop bar, but I kind of doubt it. I think just pull out the stop bars.
Yeah.
Dowel the
trapeze.
Dowel those holes. Put in a trapeze. Throw on a set of flat wounds. Turn this thing into a jazz drummer.
I disagree with the dowels. Leave the holes. Live with your shame. That's what you get.
Embrace it. Just look yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm someone with extra parts on my guitar.
Yeah. Ryan, if you have extra parts that you don't want, you know what you can do with them?
Yeah, I do, Steve.
You can list them on Reverb.
That's right. Sponsor of the show.
Yeah. I did a thing. I think I started talking about this a couple weeks ago, where I have pedals that I own and I don't use. I've been using the Mr. Black Eterna for reverb. I've also got a Big Ear L. I've got the Maris X, And so you know what I had that is a serviceable reverb that I wasn't using?
What?
The UA Golden.
Oh,
so I put it on reverb.
You sold it
And
already?
I sold it.
Nice.
And
What'd you get for that?
I like 220, I think.
That ain't bad.
I had a
You know how many kazoos you could buy with that?
right. I had a Paul Cochran Tim V3.
All right.
I did lose money on that.
Oh, great.
But once you've bought a pedal, you're kind of already invested, right? And so I sold that pedal and I took the $220 for that one. I sold the Tim, I think, for like 160 or 140, over 100. Like I said, I kind of lost my shirt on that one. But I turned those two pedals with this money that I had, that's from reverb for proceeds.
What do you get?
Into the mono neon whammy.
I knew that you got that. I didn't know you did gear mouth to get that.
I did gear. So in a sense, Ryan, I got this pedal for free.
That's a free pedal.
Taking gear that I didn't use and turning it into something that I will have a lot of fun with. Until my wife is like, "Can you stop playing the solo to like a stone?
Weo sounds.
Can you stop doing Rage Against the Machine impressions 24 hours a day?" And you know what I'll say? No. So,
no, I will never stop whammying around now that I have a free whammy.
I've never owned one of these. I've never played one
of them. You got
a
heck of a whammy to be your first whammy, man.
It's really cool. I've listened to one Mono Neon song. I barely know who Mono Neon is.
You're going to turn your basses into guitars. You're going to turn your guitars into basses, and everything else is going to turn into something else.
And like I said, I did it with all gear that I already have. So basically it cost me nothing. It's gear math.
It's so crazy that you got this.
I said on this show like a couple weeks ago that I was going to do it, and then I did it.
So I just want to pull the curtain back a little tiny bit. Reverb hit me up and was like, "Hey, do you want to produce a short video for your TikToks or whatever, where you're talking about gear math?" And that was like a paid thing for me for like my demo stuff. And Steve likes the idea so much that he's just doing it as part of the podcast sponsorship. Then he's actually selling stuff. Like I'm actually going to sell the thing that I did the video of. The JHS boost, and I do actually want to sell that. But Steve actually did it. He's actually doing the gear math, but he's not officially doing it with Reverb, but he's doing it through our sponsorship, which was not requested or required.
So if you see this in a short, it is in head
it's
to head.
Organic. This is organic advertising.
If RJ turned this Reverb spot into a short, by the way,
I have a feeling you'd be doing this if Reverb wasn't sponsoring us right now. You just like the idea of gear math.
I just like the idea of it, and it's just like I've been needing I've been needing a reason to clear out a few things.
Same.
And so I've sold. In total, I've sold 4 things and I've bought 1 thing. So I'm at a net -3, which is good. But I bought something that I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with. And honestly,
it's like when I traded that Bass 6 for a Jaguar. Technically, there was less guitar in the house because it's smaller now.
Yeah. Well, for what it's worth, based on the weight of the whammy,
oh my gosh, yeah.
I might have more pedal in my house now.
Does that thing require an external power supply?
9 volt.
Oh, thank goodness.
Well, it's external, but it's
right, but it doesn't take a brick.
No, I was my first play around with it was with the what's that thing that visual True Tone?
Sure.
The
one spot.
One spot.
Yeah. Perfect.
I just use that.
Well, and one spot can power almost anything.
Right, but I'm saying like it doesn't need like a 12 volt or an 18 volt. I think it just needs like 300, maybe it's 300 milliamp.
Yeah.
So it needs a higher power, but it doesn't, it's not a weird voltage.
A one spot, I think is like 1200 or something stupid like that.
18, I think. It's either 18
or
it's
a lot. One spots are meant so that you can daisy chain a ton of stuff.
If you want a one spot, you can head on over to reverb.com.
We're still in the sponsorship.
We're still in the sponsorship.
All right, let's move over to the next sponsor.
This episode's also brought to you by Chase Bliss.
That's right.
You know what I bought? Or actually, no, I didn't buy it off of Reverb, but I think they were exclusive to Reverb at one moment. Was the Bliss Factory?
Yeah.
Wasn't it a Reverb exclusive?
I think so. That's how I got mine.
Yeah. So.
Well, didn't I do a trade or something? Someone traded me for. It might have
your
been
Bliss Factory.
Yeah.
I thought you had that sent to you.
I don't think so. I think there was some sort of trade that I did with someone who was like, "I want that thing that you have. I have a Bliss Factory," and so I orchestrated a trade. I forget what that was. We talked about it on the show years ago.
So
next sponsor. Was that it?
Well, it's Chase Bliss. We probably should say some nice things about Chase Bliss.
What are there bad things anyone could say about Chase Bliss?
Oh,
so we could just talk and stay on the truth and never say a bad thing about them. It'll just be good things.
I'm going to say all the bad things about Chase Bliss, right?
Yeah.
Their pedals, the graphic design is too good.
You know what? I'm going to say this is going to be on a personal note about the owner, Chase Bliss, Joel. He's too good a hugger.
Yeah.
Too good at it.
He's too nice of a guy.
Too nice of a guy.
Their pedals give you too many options. They're more creative than you are.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the new Onward? The new Onward?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
By the time this hits on Monday, the new Onward's probably sold out.
Oh, it's gone already. By the time we're recording this, it's gone.
Yeah.
For sure. It? I don't know. You know how things go.
I almost bought one.
We're recording on a Tuesday.
If it would have been on Reverb, I probably would have bought one.
Okay, you don't need to go that hard for the Reverb sponsorship.
I don't know.
We like Reverb.
But legitimately, we say this every time. If you've been interested in an Onward and now they've just done limited edition art, the reason I found out about it actually last night, because I live in the past and Chase Bliss lives in the future. So they send their emails out at like midnight, which means I get it at 10 p.m. because I'm on the email list. So the thing we say every time, go to chasebliss.com, get on the email list. Ryan.
Yes, Steve.
I was sent this. You were tagged in this on the Discord.
We're into the topic.
I was sent this by
Do you have
friend
screen
of the
grabs
show,
of
Jose.
it?
I have a screen grab of.
I have the screen grab of just our part, but I wish I had more.
Well, that's the most important part.
It's the most important part. I mean, it would be interesting I'll put the screen grabs of the other creators mentioned up here. So Steve and I are now evidence.
Evidence.
We are evidence being used in a lawsuit from Bill Finnegan from Klon Incorporated LLC or whatever. I forget the name of his actual company, but it's not Bill Finnegan. It's something else.
It's Klon. It's Klon LLC.
Klon LLC. I got close. So Klon LLC is suing Behringer, like official legal action, over Behringer's, you're not going to believe this, Centaur. They came out with a pedal that is clearly a Klon clone. And it's in a little mini enclosure that's the same exact styling as a Klon with the same exact horsey man on there. And they called the dang thing the Centaur. Yeah. And it doesn't even say Behringer on the front. You have to flip it over to see Behringer, which is a wild thing that we didn't catch, I think, the first time we talked about this.
No, we didn't.
So when these came out, we talked about it on the show. And we're just like, this is buck wild. And so now, you know, the paperwork for this lawsuit has been released. And we're mentioned in it. We're quoted in it.
So I have the list.
Let's reenact it right now. But okay. Here's what we're gonna do, Steve. This is gonna be the fun we're about to have with
You're gonna read my parts.
I'm gonna be you. You're gonna be me.
Okay.
It's from the YouTube video released by 60 Cycle Hum, accessible at blah blah blah. Here's a link. Behringer Centaur, you finally got your mini Klon case.
And the craziest thing about it, the boldest thing about it, like Andy Ferris pointed out. Like the balls on Behringer to just call it the Centaur.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No.
That's wild. So you're saying that Bill should sue Behringer?
Well, I think he could. He has a strong case for a cease and desist over the Behringer Centaur.
Sure.
That's what we talk like. I love that they quoted all this fluff. Just conversational, like that's what we use to fill space because we're not good at this.
Here's
these amateurs.
Here's the people that
talked about
here's the people that are in here. This is point 64. At least some consumers and guitar industry influencers and media recognize the counterfeit Centaur pedal for what it is, a counterfeit. And he documents the Guitar Geek, Andy, which is funny because we mentioned Andy in ours.
Right.
The Pedal Junkie, Andertons.
That's a wild one. To be like, oh, here's a big old retailer that called Behringer out in their own video to be like, hey, this ain't right.
Yeah. So the funny thing about that was pointed out about the Andertons one is that was in a video where I think they do a Klon shootout. And basically at the end of the Klon shootout, they're like, these all sound the same.
But that's the thing.
Pedal Boards of Doom has a video on it. Guitar Stuff.
They also have like a bunch
of gear news.
They also have a bunch of like screen grabs of people on forums and stuff, just talking about it,
quoting the gear page,
which is like,
and a bunch of places like that.
It makes sense. It's like, hey, we're trying to prove our point here. Let's go on the internet where everyone's talking about this, and everyone else has come to the same conclusion that we have notable people in the guitar media space. I'm calling us notable, which sounds a little braggadocious, but people who are in the guitar space creating content, who are making their livings doing this, are officially saying stuff about this and coming to the same conclusion or a similar conclusion as the, is it the plaintiff? They're the plaintiff, right?
Klon is the plaintiff.
It's been a long time since I watched The People's Court or Judge Judy.
Or apparently Law and Order.
Well, I never watched that for the courtroom part.
Dun, dun, dun,
I just I watched mostly SVU, so there's not a lot of court.
You just watch the one. You just watch it for Ice-T.
Yeah, just for Ice-T to walk around and be surprised by crimes that he should know about. You're telling me people steal money?
So one of the things in here, prior to the section that we are in, which honestly is the most important section, is
it's so far down the document. Like it is, we're pretty close to the like. So in summary, here's all our contact info.
But he does say. One of the things that he calls out here is he says defendants' guitar pedals have typically, if not near universally, included the Behringer trademark plainly visible on the face of the pedal, as shown in the representative examples of defendants' pedals. And so the other pedals, they're all these different knockoffs, like the 69 Vibe, which is a knockoff of the Deja Vibe, the Chorus Symphony, which is a Boss knockoff, the B-Tron 2, the Fuzzbender, but all of them have the Behringer logo on the front face. And like you said, on the Behringer one, it's on the top plate,
right,
by the jacks. But expanding this out, I think with the Centaur, Behringer like very clearly crossed a line. This is an 85-page document, and so I think kind of the way that I think about this is because I've heard people say like, well, what took them so long? Well, it's an 85-page document.
Right. Someone had to write all that. They had to get all their stuff together.
And I think it launched. Did it launch just before?
Oh, I don't know.
I want to say it came out just before NAMM, maybe.
I had forgotten about it, honestly. I didn't even realize they actually came out with a thing, because Behringer does a thing where they'll like tease a product and be like, we're going to put this out. And people are like, oh, no, you better not, because that's a blah, blah, of this Centaur or whatever. And then it just never comes out, or you never hear about it again.
Behringer is very well known for, I think in software, they call it vaporware. It's like you have an idea, but like you're pitching an idea. And some of the speculation has been that basically they build a proof of concept. They act like it's about to come out, and then they gauge
the response.
That being said, the Behringer Centaur, you can still order it from Sweetwater, but it's pretty much been out of stock constantly. So if you dig through the lawsuit far enough, Bill does name basically what his terms are, and Behringer will not agree to these terms. They will probably settle out of court. But from memory, and so I might be getting it a little wrong, I think he says he would like $2 million or whatever the profits are from this pedal. And in talking to RJ, this pedal's been so hard to get that it's probably cheaper just to do the proceeds of the pedal than it would be to do $2 million. But then you probably have to do a bunch of accounting to get to that. So it's probably cheaper to not pay your accountant and just go into a settlement situation where instead of $2 million, you're probably going to pay Bill, 1.4 or whatever. That's going to be cheaper than having your accountant, go through all of your inventory lists of whatever.
Now that we know lawyers use our podcast as evidence, I'm a little bit wary to speculate too much on what I think should and shouldn't happen.
Here's my last thought on this in particular, and then maybe we can go broader.
Sure.
Bill, when you win, not if you win, when you win or when you get the settlement that is beneficial to you, just remember us. And here's
what I want.
If 2 Klon Centaurs show up in our mailbox,
no, I'm
not going to complain.
Steve, here's what you want it to be a Centaur, but here's what I want. I want it to be powder coated red like the KTR, and I want you to take that section about us from the document and laser engrave it on the front.
Send us a pair. Send us a pair of KTRs, but it has that script.
No, I want the Klon box.
The Klon box.
I want a super rare Klon that has been powder coated.
It's got
KTR red and has our little
our contribution,
our transcription laser engraved in the front. Please kindly remember, and just this quote of us. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. No.
But
would that count as like witness tampering or something like that?
No, because it's already out there.
We're not even witnesses. They just lifted our content.
This is a thing that people like. We've said this before. For 99% of the things that we talk about, we are not experts.
No.
We aren't even trying to pretend to be experts.
This is a hobbyist.
We are
channel.
Hobbyists with sometimes strong opinions.
We have sometimes well-informed opinions thanks to the connections we've made over the years. But we are not professional people over here.
Yeah.
This is amazing that we've existed this long.
That being said, this whole thing, I guess some of these other ones, they've changed the name, like the Mutron thing, they call it the Btron.
Right.
And so
like all that stuff is in that gray area.
Yeah,
like
you could,
but you probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Where this is a hard, like everyone who looks at this, who's industry adjacent or even just an informed enough consumer is like, wow, they're using the name Centaur and they're using the same art.
Yeah. I couldn't find it. Well, I didn't really look for it, to be fair. But I did see some people were saying, actually in our group on Facebook, that when this pedal launched, the Behringer one, the video that they put out implied that it was a collaboration.
Ooh.
Now I didn't watch the video, so I can't speak to that. But I'm
not going to watch a video on a Klon. How boring!
I think there were things that apparently in the Behringer launch video that were kind of like, "Hey, we all know the legacy of Klon and all this thing and whatever," and really we're like singing the praises the way you would if you were doing a collaboration, like
right,
If we did a collaboration with a pedal maker and they're like, yeah, the guy puts out a video, I really love the 60 Cycle Hum podcast. It's a lot of fun. I've built so many pedals while listening to these guys. So I decided to build a pedal for kind of a thing. Like it was that kind of a pitch there were people commenting like, yeah, the implication was as if they had Bill's blessing to do this.
Huh.
Again, I didn't see it. I'm just telling you what I read on the internet.
I can't see myself being bored enough to actually seek that out and watch it
now. I didn't have time,
Oh yeah.
We are actually recording this on the day it happened, which makes it unfortunate that we won't release this for 6 more days.
I mean, if we wanted to, we could rush it out, but I feel like it's fine to let it simmer for a bit. Nothing about our side of the story is going to change at all.
Exactly.
So who cares?
But I think like,
what's going to piss me off though?
What?
I bet you anything
that
your premier guitars, your ultimate guitars, your content aggregating websites that write paragraph and a half articles with a link to something else that happened, I bet none of them are going to be like, oh, guitar YouTubers get their transcription used in a court case, blah, 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 because we're not Joe Bonamassa and we're not Rhett Scholl. Well, we're not John Meyer. Like we're not the half a dozen people that they just go to the well for over and over and over again. Why not 60 Cycle Hum? Why don't we ever get headlines in legacy media?
What's today? Is today the 3rd? Let me look at my watch. Today's the 3rd.
Today is the 3rd of June.
I'm trying to see. I don't even see an article on Premier Guitar.
Well, this is going to be the part that doesn't age well when tomorrow we get the call And they're like, hey, we want to write an article about this.
Hey.
We're going to do a full think piece, and we're going to send photographers over and get headshots in your living rooms and stuff. You know,
Yeah. That's totally what's going to happen.
that's what's going to happen. This is the hot story, is us in this lawsuit.
RJ's going to be mad because I'm holding this up.
Yeah, cover your whole face, Steve.
Hey, Digitech Mono Neon Whammy review. That's a top story on
Oh, yeah. Didn't you just get one of those on Reverb?
I just did get one of those on Reverb.
The sponsor of the show? Did you do some gear math, Steve?
I did do some gear math, Ryan. I don't even think guitar.com even done it there.
They haven't
even covered it yet.
You know what? I'm not going to make accusations, but are we sure that they're not deep in the pockets of Big Behringer?
I mean, honestly, that's a thing I hadn't thought about.
If they don't, I'm just going to loosely imply that if Premier Guitar or Ultimate Guitar or any of those other websites that aggregate content the way that they do, their little articles and stuff like that, that's just, talking about things that happened elsewhere. If they don't come to us, or at least mention us in some article over the next few days before this episode comes out, probably in the pocket of Big Behringer. You hate to see it. And that's just purely speculation for the purpose of entertainment, okay? Just so it's clear, now that we know, lawyers are transcribing everything that happens on the show. So it's for entertainment purposes, just to cover our bases. But seriously, though.
If you look up Klon, Centaur, Behringer, all you can find are things covering.
It's too soon, Steve. It's too soon. You gotta wait till KDH does a video.
Oh my god!
You think he'll talk about us, KDH?
No, he's gonna talk.
This is your chance.
He's gonna talk about Andy.
Take us down.
He's gonna talk about Andy.
Do a hit piece on us. KDH.
I don't know. I think
Kid Detective H. What do you think H stands for?
That's his name.
Herbert.
Those are his
Kid
initials.
Detective Herbert.
I don't know. His name's like.
I await your content, Kid Detective.
It's
Kid
probably
Detective
like
Herman.
It's probably like
Harold.
K. Daniel.
It could be Henry
or something. Is he Irish or he's Irish, right?
I don't know.
What are some common Irish H last names? I don't know my
Either do I, and I'm not going to guess. I'm not going to. You think I'm going to make the mistake of mixing up European last names?
Yeah, I know.
No way, man. No way.
I just, so again, like this was so specific. I think it's really interesting, and some people were saying, and I haven't been able to find it, that Bill has gone after small companies before, and there were a lot of people who were trying to speculate who he was going after, and I better not be Harvey, and it better not be this, and it better not be that. And I loved how many people.
Why were they speculating? Why didn't they just look at?
Because I think they didn't click.
They just saw the headline.
They saw the Instagram post that he made. They didn't actually go and click on the link on his Instagram.
I had completely forgotten about the Behringer one. I thought they were going to go after Warm or something like that.
Right. But the Warm one is called what, the Centaur or something?
Yeah, I only remember the Warm one is because they sent me one to demo.
Do you still have it?
Yeah. It's in a drawer somewhere.
Mm-hmm. That's how good it was.
I don't care about Klons. I keep it because it's in the original style case.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to hold on to this just in case there's a skit or something I need to do.
Well, here's the skit.
This is a skit?
Here's the topic you make a skit for.
All right. I'm sure you guys are all going to tell us what you think down in the comment section. Fight it out. Make your case. Yeah. Tell us that we're dumb for even caring about this.
Honestly, we talked about this too long.
We really, really did.
Ryan.
But it's the most important thing that's happened to us all day. And it's been a long Tuesday.
This next ad was sent by Joey Scar.
We got a Joey Scar. Is this the Lite Pro?
Yeah. Which one is the actual?
The white one.
The
ones that the other ones. Oh, yours are all out of order.
Mine are in reverse order.
Yeah. Interesting.
Excuse me. 1989 Gibson Les Paul Studio Lite Pro.
Have you ever seen one of these?
I have never seen a Studio Lite Pro.
Have I. I've seen that bridge before, but I've never seen this loadout.
$5,000. I bought a guitar exactly like this in 1988, and as those years have gone by, I eventually traded it off. And like most of us, years go by, and you begin to think of some of your old gear that you'd gotten rid of. Sigh.
He's going to read the whole thing.
By some super rare chance, I ran across another guitar just like it in Nevada.
This is going to take a while.
Not Nevada. I even wondered if it was my old guitar, but it was in very, very, very sad and neglected condition. Someone had even painted a custom skull pick on it. Eck. Now, I took the guitar to a specialist. He used to restore top-of-the-line classic cars before building guitars called Yanktones, and he reworked his magic back into this guitar, stripping it completely apart and then subcontracting out the paint using the exact Gibson Alpine white lacquer and clear coat to an elite guitar painter. And then he provided final assembly, bunch of other stuff,
It's my own fault for screen grabbing the whole listing.
Originally, these guitars came with a chainsaw case, a bunch of other things. Very rare guitar. A used Gibson Les Paul Studio Lite Pro has arrived from 1989. It appears this model has been erased from Gibson history with almost no information available. Ebony fretboard, bridge. It's the tremolo is the Steinberger KBX.
That's where I've seen it.
So the bridge or the model is sometimes called the Les Paul KBX. Pickups may look like single coils, but they're actually stacked humbuckers with a mini switch for coil tapping.
So they're like mini buckers. They're probably like more like hot rails under there, huh?
Yeah, these pickups they remind me of Bartolini's. No, not well. If he's saying they're stacked, then it's more like it's a stack.
It's a stack.
So it's like
these pickups are stacked.
So they would kind of sound like have more of a single coil tone.
Well, even stacked. With that dimension, like mini buckers to me always sound tighter than a regular humbucker. They sound closer to a single. I think mini buckers sound closer to a single than a P90. Like I don't
have enough experience with mini humbuckers.
I'd go to a mini bucker to get a little bit of twang before I'd go to a P90 these days.
This thing's got some dings.
I know, it really fell off the stand. Like this thing fell off every stand and hit.
Behringer called it to testify, and it fell off this stand. Here's a 1989 Gibson Les Paul Studio Lite Pro Atomic Yellow.
So pay attention to the prices on all the other listings.
$550. This was sold 9 years ago by Trogley.
I know.
Somebody told us that we should stop talking about Trogley because apparently he's a hack, but I don't know. I think he's fine.
I don't know.
I don't have any.
I feel like I know who told you that.
No, it was in a comment, but from a person I've never seen comment before.
Wow. Okay.
Gibson Les Paul Studio Lite Pro 2, 1989. Signed by Les Paul, $1,000.
Out of stock because it sold.
And that one sold 6 years ago from Wayne's Gear Locker.
Oh, that's the same one that I screen grabbed on for Reverb.
Yeah.
Okay. Sponsor of the show. Steve, do you want to talk about that for a while?
I've already talked about it a little. Talk about it more next episode.
Maybe you should do some gear math on this guitar, Steve.
Les Paul Studio Lite. Here's a poster from Gibson USA. Here's another one from that Rhythm Man Guitars. Is that...
That one's
like eBay.
I wouldn't usually say this, but that all black one is classy looking.
And that is about $1,450.
If I was going to go for one of these, which I might, if I had the opportunity someday, if it played nice, these look fun to me. That atomic yellow one, that neon,
the yellow one,
nuclear yellow. Oh, it is atomic yellow. But you'll notice that all of those are well under $5,000.
Yeah.
Like not even close. And all of them, none of them have fallen down the stairs. You know?
Yeah. I don't know if none of them, they all might be original finishes except for this one.
The main subject of the listing here that we're talking about, it had a Lifetime movie accident. Like something shoved it down the stairs.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's
yikes.
Dark.
It's dark. It is dark. It's a dark thing to happen to such a light guitar. And you know what? The headstock didn't even break.
No, it didn't.
This is the magic Gibson, guys. The headstock didn't even break. This thing took a major tumble. You never see relics on Gibsons quite like that because usually the headstock breaks off before the rest of it.
I'm not seeing any other ones for sale. It seems like you found all. So they are ultra rare.
Right. They're pretty rare. I couldn't find any others currently listed, but I was able to find older listings. I also didn't look on eBay or anywhere else.
It does make me wonder if it's kind of moved into the realm of so rare that only 2 people would ever want to buy it. And they are
I'm one of them.
Trockley and Joey Scar. And 3 people.
It is funny. The various people who send a lot of listings throughout the week. you can kind of tell what they're window shopping for. It's like, okay, all right, I see what Michael Krause is window shopping for these days.
Right.
He's looking at acoustics this week for some reason, you know. And Joey was looking at Gibsons. Sent us a bunch of Gibsons. It's funny. I think these look cool though. I like the look of those thin, square, apparently stacked humbucker pickups. I want to know what they sound like. I bet I'd like the way they sound.
Oh, for sure.
The thing looks like, you know, a 1980s closet classic with like the really cool Kahler. Is it Kahler or Steinberger? It was a Steinberger bridge. A Steinberger bridge on there with a locking thing on the back end of it. It looks like the correct amount of like modern tech from the late 80s without looking stupid now. There's something about it that I think looks cool now.
The pickups, I feel like they look off balance. I don't really like.
That's what I like about them.
That's fair.
They're not humbuckers. They're not regular sized PAFs. That's what I like about them. And that kind of goes well with the bridge.
Given the appreciation on Gibson product in the last 5 years, and the tough thing is none of the examples you found are within the last 2 years. While I don't think 5,000 is out, if you had found all those examples and then this one was 2,000, I'd probably be like, yeah, maybe inflation in the Gibson run.
He's had it listed 2 months, 31 watchers, only one offer.
Yeah,
in 2 months. Like
people are waiting for him to be, because the thing is at $5,000, if he has, the no lowball thing, which is like 63% or whatever.
Right.
Then at 5,000, listed at 5,000, he's not going to take any offers under like 3,300 or whatever.
Right. And that's not even close yet.
People are like, no, they're probably waiting for it to get to 4,000 and then they'll start, sending him offers for 2,500.
There needs to be another documented example of one of these selling for much higher money in much better condition for someone to look at this and consider it at this point. Like, is there someone playing one of these? Someone well-known playing one of these right now?
Well, Les Paul signed one.
Yeah, and that one sold for $1,000 something bucks.
Yeah, 1,025.
So, like, this one's not signed by Les Paul, so.
Yeah, well, Ryan, when you find a lower priced one that's in your budget.
This is the sort of thing that you find at a guitar show. Like, you go to the Guitars of the West or whatever, or the Dallas Guitar Show or whatever. And
one of those Amigo shows.
Yeah, an Amigo show. And someone just has one of these at a booth, and it's an oddity, and they've got it up for $1,700 or whatever, and you're like, well, can we do some horse trading? And then you figure out something, you work something out. That's what I see, in my mind's eye. When you're ready
to make that happen, who's going to help you pony up the cash for that?
Is it Patreons?
It's the people who support us over at Patreon.
I was trying to remember if we were doing a Stringjoy sponsorship this week. And I was like, how would Stringjoy help with this? Maybe the Patreons would help. It depends. Am I buying it to make a video? Probably. In which case, if it's the subject of a video, then maybe the Patreons would help. Am I buying it from me? In which case, I would use my own money.
Right. If you buy a piece of gear, you should make a video so you can write it off your taxes.
That's true. I actually have a bunch of gear in that I could do that with. Like, I have that PRS still, and I have that Ventera Jag, and I could film both of those and make content with the guitars that I have.
Didn't you trade for both of those?
I did. That would be a hard write-off, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Damn it! I did it the wrong way.
Screwed yourself.
I can't write off a trade.
Yeah.
My tax guy's going to be pissed at me.
You probably can. I don't know. But anyway, if you want to support these sorts of shenanigans, now that we're lawsuit famous, head on over to patreon.com/60cyclehumcast.
Do you want content that you patronized featured in a prominent lawsuit? Consider supporting 60 Cycle Hum.
Where for as little as $1 or as much as more than $1, you can support the making of this program. And if even at the $1 level, you're going to get the episode as early as I can send it to you. And
that heavily has to do with how quickly I edit it.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And at the $5 level, I've got some stickers to send you. $10 level, I've got some random swaggity swag things, toys. Right now it's toys. It's like a kazoo and a keychain.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's only one kazoo, Ryan. It's not 400 kazoos.
When you send us money through Patreon, Steve sends you our trash.
It's all new stuff.
Yeah, it's brand new trash.
That's mean. It's swag.
I'm not the one doing it. You're the one doing it.
You're the one calling it trash.
It's
I think
swag.
they're cool.
It's swag.
You don't want a 60 cycle hum sticker, Ryan?
I want a 60 cycle hum kazoo. Maybe we should get those made.
Maybe we should get those made. Maybe
I still need to make pics that have the spaceship on it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I really need to have like a week where I just do nothing but catch up on graphic design stuff I need to do.
I have. Well, I don't.
I have a bunch of shirt design ideas and stuff.
Oh.
And like, I am too busy shooting and editing videos and all the other stuff.
I had this thought.
I'm making a surfboard guitar.
I had this thought, and I don't know what the numbers are that we would need to do to make it worth it. I think I would, and I don't know how to set up a storefront. We'd have to pay to have a storefront set up to do this. Is limited run shirt designs, and we do like maybe 2 or 3 a year, where we just order like 100 shirts, various sizes. And then
you want to ship them individually?
And ship them individually. Not because honestly, man, like not just the shenanigans with Teespring,
I know,
not delivering people's holiday, but also their print quality is so bad.
It's like so back and forth.
RJ was here earlier tonight wearing one of our second run 60 cycle hum shirts. And
that's 10 years old.
Is it 10 years old?
Yeah.
And his is beat to hell, but I also know he wears it like once a week,
right? Because
it was on like heavy duty, like super soft cotton. I'd love to be able to send people a high quality shirt on like a limited run basis.
Okay, we
something to think about.
It would probably be more expensive and more limited. Well, obviously more limited than the Teespring thing. A fantasy that I've had.
Would it be more expensive than Teespring? Teespring's like $30 a shirt, $25
maybe
a
it
shirt.
Maybe it wouldn't be. But once you get into international shipping and stuff like that, maybe it's only for the Patreons.
Maybe
only Patreons can order a shirt.
I don't know. But here's the thing. Here's some folks at the $1 level. Todd or Hugh Jassy. I don't know which name you want to use.
It's either a joke name or you said it way wrong. Hugh Jassy.
I think it's huge. I think it's huge.
Jassy. Hugh Jassy.
Hugh Jassy. I don't know.
I'm sorry if I've implied that there's humor to your name.
No, I think it's supposed to be like huge ass-y.
Right.
Also at the $1 level, Sarah Wheeler. At the $10 level, Ian Avent. Or Avent.
Maybe that's a Poe's Law thing. Like, is it so close to parody that we don't know if it's sincere or not.
And also at the $10 level, Bren. And Bren also joined our Discord server today and said, "Hey, I'm Bren. Been following the show for a long time. I'm a scientist who works on nanowave circuits and whatever." And I commented right away. I'm like, "Nanolog?" And he's like, "Yup." And I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Oh, he's the guy from Nanolog.
So
I still have their pedal.
Excited. Yeah,
that was fun times, fun stuff. I interviewed him on an airplane.
Yeah, he mentioned that you interviewed him.
I was flying to Summer Nam. I think for the first time I went to Summer Nam, and he was on the airplane, and I interviewed. He sat next to me, and I was like, "Wow, this is incredible! The stuff that you're telling me. Can I bust out a microphone and interview you?" So that was like 7-8 years ago.
Ryan, I got a question.
I have an answer.
We're 57 minutes into this.
Yeah.
Do we want to just save what's new for next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's save it for next week.
Let's do that. Ryan,
it'll still be new enough by then.
It'll be new enough.
Yeah. Last ad. Let's do it. Oh, we got 2 more, don't we?
No, we got 1 more.
Okay, thank goodness.
This ad was sent by 40 Watt Podcast. Tamer, 1 of 1. You know, I do a monthly live stream with 40 Watt Podcast.
60/40.
On YouTube.
Can you believe that? Okay, so we're 60 Cycle Hum. He's 40 Watt Podcast. And that he blinked and was like, "Oh, I don't know if I like that," when we pitched 60/40 as the name of what you guys do. It makes so much sense. It makes 100% when you combine them together.
Okay. All right.
60/40, guys. 40 Watt, 60 Cycle Hum. What else would you name it?
Now it feels like he can't win. Hamer 1 of 1 guitar sculpture. This Hamer XT Series Standard FT has been slightly modified and majorly improved upon. Whereas it once made lackluster audio art, it now makes outstanding visual art after having received a good thwacking against a piece of furniture, not furniture. Its see-through body is the first of its kind. Never before was it possible to see the backside of the pickups in all other wooden and electric guitars in all of human history without having to disassemble the guitar. You wouldn't be able to tell if I didn't say so, but one of those knobs isn't original equipment. Neither is the pickup selector toggle cap. Oh yeah, it's got a pair of Seymour Duncan humbuckers in it. Strings are still good. You can even have the wall hanger if you want. This is $333 on Facebook. I'm seeing the back of it. I don't like what I see.
Take a look at the front. This thing's breakdancing. So what I've never seen a break like this on any electric guitar. Just split down the middle like that. That's a brand new one for me. I wonder if is there a seam there or something that didn't
It kind
get
of
enough
looks
glue?
like there's a seam.
But also the way that seam, if there is a seam there or just an unlucky weak piece of grain or whatever, the way the neck twisted out of it, I'm assuming under the pressure of the strings pulling it maybe, or just that's the way that it fell.
I don't know if there is a seam.
I don't think it's a seam. I think that it just happened to happen that way. This is a gnarly break. But also looking at it, I wonder if someone could save it. I wonder if if you got to finish pulling it apart, take all the hardware off. But if you can get the grain to match up and you can clamp this thing back together with some glue, it's not that bad, right?
Is this supposed to be a joke price? $333?
Yeah, I think so.
This is maybe at most $133.
Oh no, this thing's $50 at best.
Yeah. Maybe I should have said $33.
I think this is a way of giving this thing its last hurrah, its last thank you for existence, is just to document it for the internet and leave it. Is this on Facebook? I think it's on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just to leave it encased in amber on Facebook forever so that they can get reminded of its existence.
It says, having received a good thwacking against a piece of furniture. Does that imply
what happened to the furniture?
Does that imply intention to you?
Yeah.
Like, that makes me think it was smashed.
Someone got angry. I want to see the furniture. These things are not light. It's an Explorer style guitar. This thing could do some damage. Like, I want to see the coffee table. I want to see, I want to see the television that this thing smashed in half. I want to see the credenza.
Isn't that like a patio?
The credenza?
What's a credenza?
It's like a dresser that doesn't. It's not a dresser.
Really?
It's a dresser for your TV. The credenza.
I'm looking it up because I literally have I can't even picture it.
I better not be wrong about credenzas.
A credenza is a dining room sideboard or display cabinet.
There you go.
You're basically correct.
Right. We use a credenza to put our TV on.
Yeah.
Back on Earth. Because we're in space now. Have you guys noticed that we're in space now? We're in space now.
Okay.
Now Steve's all charged up on his
all reading about his
brand new credenza knowledge. He's going to go home to his wife. Hey, Melissa, you heard about credenzas?
Hey, baby, you want to buy a credenza with me?
Ready to take our relationship, our marriage to the next level.
Yeah.
Let's get a credenza together.
Yeah.
You're thinking of gazebos when you're thinking outside. Gazebos are outside. Credenzas are inside. You could put a credenza in a gazebo, but it's going to get damaged from the weather. It's not meant to be even in a gazebo,
Ryan, I don't really have a lot.
And by the time you're done putting walls on the gazebo to protect the credenza,
yes,
now you've just built a house. A gazebo with walls is just a house. I'm sorry. It's not a gazebo anymore. Is it a house
or is it just a shed?
At very best, it's a yurt.
No, do yurts have to be fabricked?
That's a good question. I'll leave it to the yurt experts to decide whether or not my guess about gazebos with walls being yurts is correct or not.
If you're an expert on yurts, leave us a comment down below. I don't really have a lot else
Let
to
us
say
know down below.
This.
Gazebo no or gazebo yes?
Gazebo, huh?
Gazebo no way.
Ryan, you mentioned this at the top of the show. We have to pick the best ad of the show.
We don't have to. We get to. Okay, so we got the Lite Pro.
We got the S-Geeze.
The S-Geeze. That one, the way that you reacted to that makes me think.
I think for me, it's S-Geeze. What is it for you, Ryan?
S-Geeze these nuts.
Hey.
That's it. That's the show.
All right, JJ, congratulations. I will have an email sent to you, and then you respond back to me and tell me where you want that digital gift card from, and eventually I will send it to you.
Yeah, we're going to spend all that Patreon money putting cash in your pocket.
You
are entitled to compensation.
This song was sent by Dustin Meyer, who says, not sure if you ever got my other two, but here goes. I'm not sure either. But
we'll have to check the records.
I think the band is called Telepathy Hour, and I think the song is called Flying.
The only reason that we play songs at the end is so that you guys will listen every week to see if it's your song, right? Just stay tuned. That was wonderfully unhinged. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, no, it was cool.
Super cool track.
Thanks, Dustin.
I feel like we need to search the records and see if he did send us other stuff.
Yeah, I will say a few people have sent us ad song combos, and then I have to pick. Does this go into the ads folder?
You got to
or
split
the
them up.
Song folder.
Send more than one email for that.
Yeah,
because we organize it kind of willy nilly, out of the email.
Oh, we organize it very.
Steve is very precise.
Very precisely. And the problem is there's no way to...
Too precise.
It's too precise. It's
Yeah,
exactly too precise.
Yeah. Like a surgeon
It'd
over
be
here.
better if we just kept, all 250 unread ads in the main folder where it would keep us from seeing the rest of our other email.
Yeah, you think eventually I'd run across an ad that also has a song attached, and
if you do,
I don't think I have.
Yeah, but well, it's been in probably the last month.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out.
So if you see it, after you read it, send it over to songs and then mark it unread in the songs folder.
All right, bye everybody.
Stay grounded.